welcome back to my channel. Today I'm here with a new video, and today I want to go over some foundations that I feel are sweat proof, humidity proof. These foundations are just going to hold up all summer long. But before we get started, if it is your first time watching, please hit the subscribe button, and if you are a returning subscriber, don't forget to hit the like button. I jump right into today's video. I'm going to be doing a quick little giveaway. A few weeks ago I did a review on the new Urban Decay face bond self-setting foundation. That's not really a foundation that I really like. I know a couple of y'all, maybe one person, I can't remember, somebody told me to try it with a different primer and maybe I'll like it a lot better. I have not even thought about trying that foundation out, but after that review, Urban Decay did reach out and send me over another one, and there's no need for me to have two foundations. So one I want to give away, and this is what it looks like. It hasn't even been taken out of the box, and this is the shade 33 Deep Neutral. Now I think this is the same exact shade that I reviewed, I'm not sure, but if you are interested and would like to possibly win this, just leave a comment below, and I'm gonna take about a week before I pick somebody. But make sure you can actually wear the shade, because I don't want you to get a foundation that's way too dark or way too light. So make sure this will be a good option for you. So all you have to do is just comment below, and that is pretty much it. Let's get into some matte foundation that I feel that will work well for summer. Now I'm going to start with foundation that I feel are soft matte, and then we gonna go into ones that I feel like are summer approved. In my mind, summer approved is it's going to hold up on my oily skin. It's not going to transfer. I'm not going to look cakey. It's just going to stay matte and it's going to stay in place. So in my mind, that's what I call summer approved foundations. So I'm just going to start with the soft matte foundations, then I will work my way in to the matte foundation I will be starting with that I feel like is soft matte. This one is going to hold up, I believe, during hot humid temperatures, and I feel like this is one that is going to work well for all skin types. And I'm going to start out with the foundation from Prada Beauty. This is the Prada Reveal Optimizing, I think it's called soft matte foundation. I don't know the exact shade I have offhand. I think it's I have DN85. I'm not too sure. I actually have this on right now. To me, this is more of a luminous matte. It's not like going to dry your skin out, but it works. I wouldn't be mad at this wearing this on a super hot humid day. I just know most likely I probably would have to go in and touch this up. This is a very lightweight, breathable foundation. It retails for about $70. The refills retail for about $50 to $55. Now with this foundation, they have a lot of shades. They have over 60 shades. So I really don't feel like somebody will have a hard time finding a shade. I'm not too sure about the undertones, but just looking at the foundation shades, I felt like I could have went with 3, 4, 5 different shades, to be honest. So this is one I would recommend if you want a matte foundation that's not too matte. It's going to look very natural. It's going to look good on camera. It's going to look great in person, and it's also breathable. This is one that I would recommend. You pretty much just take it out like that and refill it. So yeah, this is one that I will highly recommend. Next one I feel like that would be appropriate for summer, that's not too dry and that's going to work well for all skin types, is the Tom Ford Soft Matte Architect Foundation. I just reviewed this on my channel. I have the shade 10.5 Mocha. Again, this is one that's not too matte, but it holds up. It's not going to dry you out. If you have dry skin, combo, normal oily skin, this works. Now, do I feel like this is the most matte foundation you could find? No. And also, this one is pretty pricey. This retails for about $150 right now. I think it's only at Nordstrom. It might be at Sephora, I'm not sure, but I know when I reviewed this, I did say that most likely this will end up at the cosmetics company store, and I still feel that way. So even if you feel like $150 is a little too much to pay right now, I would say kind of keep an eye out, see when it will end up at the CCO store. Also check Nordstrom, Bloomingdale's. Nordstrom about to have their annual sale, so this might go on sale. I'm not sure, but even if it's only a few dollars off, I would still try to get a really good deal on this foundation. And I feel like the shade that I have is a pretty decent shade match. If you have not checked out the review, go ahead, check it out on my channel. So yeah, this is one that I would say that is great for summer. The next foundation I feel like that will work well during the summer is also great for all skin types. I just mentioned this in my May favorites video. This is the Christian Louboutin foundation. This retails for $77. This is available in 30 shades. It's another one that looks very pretty on this. Is not the mattest foundation you can find out there, but I do like it, and I feel like this will hold up during like summer temperature. Also, this looks very flawless. The coverage is medium to buildable. I just really like this foundation a lot. It looks pretty, and this really holds up all day. Now again, I don't feel, when I think of this foundation, I don't feel like it's matte, like really matte, but for some reason this just holds up all day. And I've worked out with this. I've worn it when it was like 85, 87 degrees outside, and it didn't budge. But it's not like matte. I know some people want something that's probably gonna dry. Well, hopefully you don't want nothing that's gonna suck the life out of your face, but this is not one of those foundations. It is very lightweight. So this is another one that I would recommend. It's also pretty pricey. It's $77, but it's worth it. Next foundation I feel like is great for summer, and this one has made its way to holy grail status when it comes to my all-time favorite foundations, and this is from Valentino. This retails for $65, I believe. I think they have about 40 shades. This is another one that's going to give you a flawless finish. You're going to look very pretty with this foundation on camera, in person. This is one that I would wear for sure if I was like going to an event, if I knew I was going to be taking pictures, if I'm doing something like on YouTube where I'm not trying out like a product. This is my go-to foundation. I talked about this a lot on my channel. I have the shade DA3. This is the perfect shade match. This shade is always out of stock when you look on the Sephora app, so I would say try Bloomingdale's, Nordstrom, the Valentino actual website to find that shade if you do use me as a shade twin. Like, I really like this foundation a lot. I love it. Also, another thing, I'm glad that just popped in my head. I wouldn't buy this foundation from Sephora, because a lot of times when you buy the luxury, like expensive foundation, a lot of the deep shades be expired. So I would say go to someplace else. So keep that in mind, because I had another foundation, Valentino one from Sephora, and it expired. So yeah, I wouldn't get this from Sephora. Like, get it from someplace else. Now I'm going to go into ones that are matte, that are summer approved. And I'm going to mention so now I'm going to go into foundations that I feel like are summer approved. Ones that are matte, one that's going to hold up all day. Your skin won't be looking shiny, your pores won't be looking large. Like, this is the foundations that I'm going to share with y'all. These just work, and some of them, they're not my favorite as far as the shade or different things, but they work. And I'm going to mention two powder foundations right quickly, because I feel like these are matte, and I do use both of these a lot during the summertime, and I don't use these to set. I just use it straight up as a powder foundation. And the first one is the Chanel Ultra Le Teint powder foundation. I won't be opening up the compact because the foundation that was in here, I've actually ran out of it, and I have to buy another one. But this is from Chanel. This is the Ultra Le Teint Flawless powder foundation. I have the shade BD121. It's the perfect shade. This is matte. It's going to give you indeed a flawless finish. It is not going to change colors or get too dark or orange on you. This one just works. This is one that I use a lot. Obviously, I don't have it in here, so that tells you how much I use. Powder foundation, I feel like, is matte, and it holds up all day. It's breathable. It is not going to get dark on you. It's not going to look cakey. It's not going to transfer. It's just going to stay in place, and it is humidity proof. This is from Makeup Forever. This is the HD Skin Matte Velvet Powder Foundation. They have a ton of shades in this. I know a lot of people didn't like this reformulated version. They preferred the older one that they had, but I like this one just as much as the old one. This is one that I use constantly. I love it. And if you use me as a shade reference, I do have the shade 4N68. This is one that I would highly recommend. So I'm gonna try to run through these quickly, because y'all know I do not like very long videos, and I don't want this to be like 30 minutes long. So I'm gonna tell you a little bit about them and just go to the next one. I'll tell you why I like them. The first one, and it comes from Nars. This is the Nars Soft Matte foundation. I'm quite sure majority of people who will watch this video probably tried this out, probably have it already. You already know this is matte. Y'all, this retails for about $40. It's available in 34 shades. It has a matte finish. It is full coverage. With this foundation, I feel like for me, this works best if I go in with a hydrating primer. If I use a matte primer underneath this, I'm going to be oily right away. It just won't work. So for me, I always like to go in with something more hydrating. I have the shade Belem, which is the shade medium deep 3.6. Y'all already know my struggle with Nars. I had a really hard time finding my exact shade, and I feel like this is a really good shade match. Macao is a little too yellow, and the shade after that is a little too red. This one just works. This kind of has like a more pink undertone a little bit, but it works. So this is one that I will highly recommend, but I'm quite sure again that you probably already tried this out. Summer approved foundation that I love, and I wore this a lot last summer, and it comes from Armani. This is the Power Fabric Foundation. This has about 26 shades. I believe this retails close to about $60. This is one that is matte. It's going to hold up. It looks very pretty. This is pretty much the matte version of the Luminous Silk. Now, the Luminous Silk one, that's one of my holy grail foundations. I tend to wear that more when the weather is cooler, and this is one that I like to pull out this time of year when it starts getting hot and humid. Now, do they have the best shade range? No. There's only 26 shades, but I do like this foundation. I like it a lot, and I have the shade 11, which is a really good shade match. Next, summer approved foundation. That's another favorite of mine during the summer, and it comes from Givenchy. This is the Prism Leap Matte Foundation. This one I think retails for about $58. I think there's about 30 shades. I'm not sure, but this has a lot of added skincare benefits. I think this has salicylic acid. So if you do have extremely oily skin like myself, then you know salicylic acid is great for combating acne and oiliness. So this is one that I will highly recommend when it is very hot and humid. I don't feel like they have the best shade range. In my opinion, I don't even think there's like 40 shades. There might be, but I don't remember there being a lot. But I do have the shade 405. I feel like that's a really good shade match. This is one that I've been loving a lot, especially when it is extremely hot outside. You can't go wrong. And the next foundation, it comes from KVD. This is the Good Apple Foundation. I have two shades. I cannot find my exact shade match in this foundation. That's why I have two. And as of lately, whenever I do wear this, I mix them together, or I'll mix this with something else. This is one that is very matte, but it looks very pretty. It's not too matte. It's not heavy. I feel like somebody with more oily skin will like this over somebody with dry skin. They have a lot of shades, but it is, if you like fall in the category of medium deep where I'm at, I feel like it gets kind of tricky when it comes to the shade, because I have the shade 074 and I have the shade 076. Somebody told me to try 072, but at that point I don't like this enough to buy a third one, so I just make this worse. But this is a really good matte one. I would highly recommend. And the next foundation I feel like would be great during hot and humid temperatures. This is not my favorite foundation, to be honest. I hardly ever wear this just because this is a reformulated version. This is the YSL All Hours. I do again have two different shades because it's another one I feel like I can't find a spot on shade match. I do prefer the original. I feel like it was easier to find the shade. This one is very matte. I feel like it holds up. But this is just not my favorite matte foundation. I know a lot of people like this. Unfortunately, I don't. Overall, if you want something matte, you want something that's going to stay put, stay in place, that doesn't transfer, this is one I would recommend. And YSL Beauty always have stuff on sale, so I will order this from YSL actual website versus getting it someplace else, because they always run at 10, 15, 20% off. But this is a good one that I feel like is summer approved. And the next foundation I'm going to recommend that I feel like is summer approved, and I'm going to run through these last few quickly because my camera is starting to overheat. And this comes from Gucci. This is the Luminous Matte Foundation. This retails for $69. This is available in about 40 shades. This is one that you probably will have a hard time finding the shade. And I have the shade 380 Neutral. Is it spot on? No. But do I make it work? Yes. Just because I like this foundation so much, I'm willing to mix it with other things. I love the way that this looks in person, camera. Like, this is another one that I feel is great if you go into an event. For a while, I had a hard time putting this one down, and I would also mix it with the KVD foundation. Those were like my two go-to every day. This is also lightweight. It doesn't transfer. I just love this foundation. I feel like not only does it work well during the summer, this also is one that I will wear all year round. Like, I really like this foundation. The shades are kind of off with this one. I don't know why, but you probably would have better luck in the other foundation from Gucci, the one that has the pink top. I have the shade 380 in that one, and that one is spot on, but for some reason 380 is just very olive with this one. I don't know. And the next foundation, I feel like this has been around for a minute, and it comes from Chanel again. This is the Ultra Le Teint Flawless Comfort Foundation. This one is matte. This is pretty much the foundation that you want to wear during the summer if you decide to even put foundation on. This is very matte. I feel like somebody with dry skin probably would not like this one. This is made for somebody with straight up oily skin, extremely oily. Think of, like, it's very hot and humid outside. This is just gonna work. You don't have to worry about constantly touching up your face, looking too cakey. This one has about 40 shades. I think this retails closer to $60. I don't know, my top is missing. I have the shade BD 121 in this one, and it is a perfect shade match. So this is a really good one. Like, I feel it's perfect for like summertime, perfect if you're going like on a vacation someplace. That one is a good one. Another one that I feel like is really good to wear during like humid temperatures, and I don't see a lot of people talking about this. This is the Bobbi Brown Skin Longwear Foundation. At a time before I really got into YouTube, I used to wear this foundation a lot. This was like one of my favorites. I have the shade C084. This looks very flawless, but also still looking natural. It is very matte. I wouldn't recommend this for somebody with dry skin because I think this will be a little too dry. I like this foundation a lot. Like, I love this. Most likely you can get this as well at the CCO store. I think this has about 40 shades. I don't remember the price of it. I probably should have looked that up, but I don't think this is, it's probably no more than $40. And you can get this at Sephora, Ulta. This is a really good matte foundation. Again, I don't know why a lot of people don't talk about this, but I freaking love this foundation. And the last one that I will mention that I feel like actually works for real during extremely hot temperatures. I took this on vacation to Puerto Rico, and I was impressed at how well like this was able to stay in place. And I was hot. I was sweating like all the time over in Puerto Rico because it is very hot and humid. This is the Dior Backstage Face and Body Foundation. This is another one that is very popular here on YouTube. I have the shade 5N. This is like a go-to. I know for sure it is very hot outside, and I'm going to be someplace where I feel like I need to look put together. I'm putting this on without a doubt. This is going to be very long wearing. You're going to get at least 8 to 10 hours out of this. I really don't feel like you have to do too much touching this one up. This one, again, it just works. So this will be one that I would recommend without a doubt during the summer months. But anyway, y'all, that is it for today's video. My camera is about to cut off. Hopefully you guys enjoyed it. Y'all let me know in the comment section, what are some of your favorite matte foundations? In this video, I made sure to include foundation that you still can get, ones that's still available, because I do have better matte foundations than the one I mentioned, but they have been discontinued, so it's no point of me showing y'all something that you won't be able to get. But these are really good options to wear during extremely hot humid temperatures. But anyway, y'all, don't forget to like and subscribe, and I'll see y'all later.